Good evening and welcome to the June 18th, 2025 Apple Valley Planning Commission meeting. I call it to order. First item of business is the approval of the agenda. Any changes from staff?
Madam Chair, members of the commission, we have no changes for you at this time.
Thank you. Any changes from the commission?
Move approval. Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Mahowald. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item of business is the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda items are considered routine and will be enacted with a single motion without discussion unless a commissioner or citizen requests to have any item separately considered. It will then be moved to the regular agenda for consideration. Can I get a motion of approval?
So moved. Second.
Made by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Mahowald. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item of business is a public hearing that we have tonight on, find it here, 7 BREW. So with that, I will open the public hearing. We will now open the public hearing for agenda item 4A. The affidavit of publication for the notice of public hearing is available for inspection in the planning department. Everyone wishing to speak at this public hearing should be sure to fill out the attendance roster. Please include your name and address so that accurate records can be maintained. We will begin the procedure with a brief presentation by city staff, followed by a presentation by the petitioner of the hearing. Upon the conclusion of the presentation, city staff will be asked to comment on the proposal's conformance with pertinent regulations and policies. After that, comments will be taken from the general public. And I see a new face out there, and I guess your name is Carter Hayes.
Yeah, should have worn my name tag, apologize, but
Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Tonight, we're asking the Planning Commission to hold a public hearing to receive comments on 2 land use requests by KEUBER Coffee LLC for the proposed 7 BREW Coffee House. First, a variance to extend the operating hours from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Second, a conditional use permit to allow drive-through with a Class 3 neighborhood restaurant. After any public comments, you may close the hearing. While no action is typically taken the same night, if the commission is ready, staff supports recommending approval of the variance for expanded hours, recommending approval of the conditional use permit for the drive-through, and recommending approval of the site plan and building permit authorization subject to conditions 1 through 17 on the attached resolution. So about the site, this site is located at the northwest corner of Pilot Knob and 155th Street West. It is legally described as Lot 1, Block 1, McDonald's at Orchard Place on the preliminary plat. It will be addressed 15440 English Avenue. One second. This site is located in the RB Retail Business Zoning District. It's limited business to the north, retail business to the south and west, and public right-of-way to the east. It is within the MBC Mixed Business Campus, which guides for commercial, office, medical, and hotel land uses. The proposed use as a coffee shop aligns with the commercial development and also complements the surrounding area uses by supporting area workers and visitors. Coffee houses are considered a Class 3 neighborhood restaurants by city code. Class 3 neighborhood restaurants are allowed by right in the RB zoning district, but inclusion of a drive-through requires a conditional use permit. The applicant is proposing 2 order lanes with person-to-person service and no speaker boxes. They have submitted a narrative showing compliance with the applicable performance standards. Staff finds this proposal consistent with the RB district and supports recommending approval subject to those conditions in the draft resolution. City code also limits Class 3 restaurant hours to 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The applicant is requesting a variance to open at 5:30 a.m. to accommodate early morning customers. To approve, the commission must find practical difficulties per state statute and city code. Consider the criteria noted on your screens and listed in the packet. Seven Brew does have a narrative that supports their case and addresses these required criteria. Staff finds this variance minimal, compatible with the mixed business campus area, and supports reasonable property use. Staff does support recommending approval of the 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. operating hours variance. Are there any questions on the land use request before I proceed?
We'll let you proceed.
Okay, on to the site plan. The site plan shows a 510 square foot drive-through coffee shop on a roughly 1 acre parcel. There are 2 drive-through lanes that encircle the site and a 280 square foot accessory cooler and storage structure as well. Once again, all service is done via order windows and as person to persons. There are no speaker boxes. There is also no seating provided at the restaurant as a drive-through only. There is a order pickup window at the site though. Access from the site is from a shared driveway on English Avenue, which is currently used by Chafin Veterinary Clinic and will be used by the proposed McDonald's to the south. Vehicle circulation, parking, and queuing occur entirely on site and meet all applicable city code sections. All setback requirements are met as well. The utility plan, water and sanitary service connects to the existing utilities at the northwest corner of the site. Stormwater runoff will be directed to a regional system utilizing existing ponds west of the site for both treatment and detention. Further details regarding utilities and applicable requirements are listed in the city engineer's memo attached in your packets. Regarding landscaping, the applicant must provide landscape material equal to 2.5% of the building construction value. The plan shows a mix of canopy and ornamental trees, as well as coniferous and flowering shrubs. A 15-foot wide landscaping buffer along Pilot Knob will also be required and must include trees and shrubs. That will also be as a condition of the CUP for the drive-through as well. This plan will ultimately be reviewed at building permit time if approved to ensure all city landscaping standards are met. The proposed building and cooler storage structure will be prefabricated and delivered to the site. Both will be Nichiha fiber cement panels with the brick design you see on your screens. The coffee stand will be about 20 feet tall at its peak. The dumpster enclosure will also match these materials on site. So with that, representatives from Seven Brew are here and available to answer any questions or concerns you may have. If the Planning Commission concurs, staff recommends the actions outlined in the staff report as well as shown on screen. With that, I'm happy to take any questions or comments from the Commission.
Thank you, Carter. We have Commissioner Mahowald.
Madam Chair, Carter, I might just not have clear vision here, but could you show me how there's two lanes, and I'm just trying to figure out kind of how that works, given the rendering. It looks like I'm just trying to figure out how the flow of 2 lanes.
Yeah, so it's essentially 2 stacked order lanes. So orders can be completed in both lanes, and then I believe they hand coffee. It's similar to how Chick-fil-A operates. I know they note that in their narrative. So you can kind of stack both lanes, and then I believe they give the coffee or whatever beverage it may be to them at the end point.
Okay, so would there be, for the outside lane, then, does somebody have to come out of the building to hand the coffee? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They referenced Chick-fil-A. They didn't give a step-by-step guide in their narrative, but they referenced how Chick-fil-A operates, and I'm familiar with that. So
We can ask the petitioner too
Sure,
when he gets up. So you're familiar with Chick-fil-A, huh?
yes.
Anybody else have any questions? Come on, we got to give Carter a hard time.
All right, I'll help them out. Nice presentation, Carter, thank you.
Thanks.
In regards to the 5:30, the standard is 6, correct?
Correct.
And the next door neighbor, do they have a 5:30 or 6, or?
Regarding McDonald's?
Yes.
They will be operating 24 hours. They are classified as a Class 2 restaurant, so they don't have those specific hours of operation assigned to them.
Okay, well, that answers that, very good.
Thank you. And just So you know, I did a little research on Starbucks and Caribou just to see what time they opened up, and one's open up at 4:30 and one at 5:30, so. Okay, I think we're gonna have the petitioner come up, the applicant.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm
welcome.
Zach Huang, Seven Brews local tenant representation here in Minnesota.
Welcome.
Evening.
So we'll let you answer
Yeah.
Commissioner Mahovald's question maybe
Sure.
on the two lanes and how it's served and everything.
So very much like a Chick-fil-A. I know we heard that example, but essentially, the customers will queue into the drive-through lane, and employees, team members from Seven Brew will have iPads, and they kind of work down the drive-through lane, taking orders ahead of time.
So they're outside.
They're outside. They're outside.
12 months out of the
12 months out of the year. They have jackets. There'll be outside heaters as needed. They kind of block it in just like a Chick-fil-A, very much that. And then once they get to the end of the drive-through, they come out and just hand you the drinks. Yeah, and they'll walk over the drive-through lane and hand over the drink to the car on the outside as well. But everything kind of stops there, kind of 3 or 4 cars back as they hand off the drinks and have their greetings and conversation and let them kind of drive by and get off of the drive-through lane. So very high touch, high customer service is kind of their MO.
So how long does it take to get your order?
Good question. Real life example, just this week, my business partner was at the Eau Claire location. I think there was 20 plus cars. He was out of there in 9 minutes.
Really?
So very quickly,
Okay.
very, very quickly.
How many other places do you have in Minnesota?
So in Minnesota now, St. Cloud broke ground, Bemidji is open. Eau Claire would be the second closest. This franchisee we have has purchased 4 territories, 4 pins in the metro here. We have 4 signed leases and a handful of proposals. So the next 12 months here, I think you'll see a lot of these start popping up.
Okay.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you, and thank you for coming to Apple Valley. Any other questions for him? No? Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you, everybody.
No more questions for Carter? Okay. Do I have any motions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, I'm sorry.
although there is no one in the audience, you still should ask for comments.
Forgot that it was a public hearing with nobody in the audience. Okay, so please come to the podium to speak and address all comments and questions to the chair. Okay, so if there are no further comments, I will close this public hearing. It is the policy of the Planning Commission not to act on an item on the same night as its public hearing. The Planning Commission will weigh all comments and information received tonight in its deliberations at future meetings. This item will continue to appear on future Planning Commission agendas until a recommendation on the petition can be forwarded to the City Council, or unless somebody would like to make a motion tonight.
Madam Chair, I would recommend approval of a conditional use permit to allow a drive-through in conjunction with the Class 3 neighborhood restaurant. Is there more to that?
Yes, number 2.
Do I read all 3 of them? Is this-
Madam Chair, there is a draft resolution in your packet, so you could make reference
Either on there,
back to those conditions.
I'm missing this, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't have that
I don't
either.
have it.
No. I think just.
Unless you're just talking about the 1, 2, 3 on the action requested. Is that what we're talking about? Yes?
Can I
Yes,
just do the-
Madam Chair, there's,
The first 3, the 3 that are right there underneath action requested.
On the staff
yes,
memo.
yes,
Yeah, the staff memo, things are juxtaposed a little bit differently than
Yes.
they are on the PowerPoint presentation. So if we can go by, should we go by the staff memo where the items are numbered, the recommendations are 1, 2, and 3, as opposed to the
Actions requested.
PowerPoint where they're 2, 3, and 4 in kind of a slightly different order?
you could do that.
Okay.
So read each one separately, correct? Okay, so read all of 1 on here.
So I did.
Yeah,
I read all of
I
them.
would second that.
Okay.
as to item number 1.
Okay, so motion made by Commissioner Sandal, seconded by Commissioner Mahowald. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
I recommend approval of the variance request to KEUBER Coffee LLC for expanding hours of operation for Class 3 restaurant to 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Second.
That motion was made by Commissioner Halas, seconded by Commissioner Schindler. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I'll continue with recommend approval of the conditional use permit to KEUBER Coffee LLC for the operation of a drive-through window in conjunction with a Class 3 restaurant.
I second.
Oh, that-
We already
Madam
did
Chair,
that.
that was the first motion.
Yeah.
That was the first one, okay.
So,
Site plan.
so procedural, he'll need to withdraw his motion.
I withdraw it.
He needs to
You
withdraw.
need to withdraw.
I will withdraw recommendation approval of the conditional use permit to KEUBER Coffee LLC in operation of the drive-through window in conjunction with Class 3 restaurant, as previously mentioned.
Second.
Second.
So Commissioner Halas and seconded by Commissioner Schindler. We got that?
Madam Chair, just for clarification, the first motion was for the conditional use permit, if I correct, right?
Yes.
Correct.
All right.
We were doing off this.
Second motion is, so that was acted on, voted,
They're doing it after
passed.
this.
Second motion was the variance, acted on, passed. So this third motion, you don't take action on the withdrawal. He's just withdrawing his
Understood.
Okay.
motion.
And I'll go ahead.
And then you proceed with the site plan.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to, as item number 3 on the staff memo, to recommend approval of the site plan and building permit authorization for a 510 square foot drive-through coffee shop, subject to conditions 1 through 17 in the draft resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Mahowald, and I believe I heard Commissioner Schindler for the second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, so we're good? Thank you. Okay, so that brings us to no land use tonight. Other business. Tim Benetti, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a reminder, your next meeting will be Wednesday, July 2nd. I know that's can be a busy week for people on the July 4th holiday, but hopefully we can see you there. The following meeting will be Wednesday, July 16th, and our next council will be Thursday, July 10th, and this item will be on that agenda for that consideration before the council. So, thank you.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Schindler, seconded by Commissioner Mahowald. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. This meeting has adjourned.